We have a health alert for you this morning. Brand new, a report just released at midnight found 2 of every 3 canned foods tested have a toxic chemical in the lining that could really negatively impact your health. Evidence suggests it may contribute to several health problems. We're talking breast and prostate cancer, infertility, type 2 diabetes, obesity, asthma, even attention deficit disorder. For the first time ever, we are learning what materials can replace BPA in can linings, but how safe are those chemicals for you? Joining us now is Dr. Saman Soleimani from Avicenna Medical Care. When I called you about this yesterday and kind of gave the heads up that the study was coming out, you were not surprised one bit.
Not at all. We've known this for probably more than 10 or 15 years. There's been quite a bit of studies and a lot of research that's been done in this subject, which is one of the reasons a few years ago FDA banned bisphenol A linings in baby bottles. But they didn't go all the way because they're still present in baby canned foods. So they decided that it's not safe enough to be in bottles, but somehow missed the fact that there are quite a bit of baby food that aren't canned food.
Well, I just talked a little bit about some of the ways that BPA can make you sick and some of the health risks. How much do you have to consume? I mean, how many cans of soup or vegetables would I have to eat for it to have an impact?
Well, Harvard University in 2006 did a study where they took about 200 patients and they broke them up half and half, and half of them, they had them have a soup from a can once a day for 5 days. The other half had freshly made soup, by a chef by them. At the end of the 5 days, when they checked their bisphenol A levels in the urine, the people that just had 5 cans of soups 5 days in a row, their levels were 5 times above what would be considered carcinogenic. And the other problem is that the FDA and EPA, their stance up to now has been that up to 50 micrograms per kilogram per day is considered quote-unquote safe, except many studies show that as low as 1 microgram, which is 50 times less than what the FDA says, can have
an impact.
Known problems.
And then, we talked, I guess it depends on your body, how you react to it and what could happen to you. So
pretty much across the board, we know that bisphenol A, it's a hormone-like substance. It's toxic. It disrupts the feedback mechanism of how we consume food, which can cause overeating. It is an actual estrogen mimicker, so it acts as an estrogenic compound, which obviously is not so great for potential breast cancer, ovary cancer, and anything that is estrogen-related. It affects your thyroid metabolism. I mean, it really has so many different effects, as you mentioned, even asthma, ADHD, and so on.
Yeah, we're looking at some of the factors here as well. And again, they tested so many different types: Campbell's, Del Monte, General Mills, everything from soups to vegetables. You're also concerned with what they could be replacing this with, because yesterday Campbell's came out. They knew that the study was coming out.
Yes.
They knew it was not going to look good for them. So now they're announcing, in a couple of years, we are completely doing away with BPA. But what are they replacing it with? Because when I was looking at this study, some of the things they're replacing it with don't seem like they're going to be any better for us.
They're really not that much. It's just, trading in one problem for another. Pretty much the couple of categories that the new replacements are, they're either resin-based, like what we call polystyrene, which is a known carcinogen, or polyvinyl chloride substitutes, which are also known carcinogens. There are some plant-based materials, but there is no information because just when you say plant-based doesn't mean that it's safe, because,
Yeah, no, and I fully understand.
There is no information on those plant-based, and the plant-based are very minimal percentage of companies that are going that route. We have no idea what kind of chemicals they use to make that plant-based, which could further have carcinogenic properties.
So thank you so much for coming and talking to us about this. And Bruce, as I toss it over to you, one last thing I want to say. This is why Dr. Soleimani says he doesn't feed his family anything from a can, nor does he eat anything from a can. He suggests the same thing for his patients.